thank you guys for doing this. We're not picking anymore, so we wanted to be ready to get back up there and start being able to recruit as soon as the draft was over. So appreciate you adjusting your schedules for us. But it was an amazing day. We traded all over the place and took 2 players. Really excited about both players, obviously. It's not we're not going to come out there, after surgery. You don't hear many doctors say, right? We've talked about this before. Surgery was just okay. We feel really excited about what we did, and really excited about Trey. Excited about his competitiveness. The guy's just got a fire to him that's just off the chain. That's what all the cool kids say, I guess. Off the chain. Yeah, sorry. My son would say that, right? So, but
4 or 5 years ago, John.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. I apologize. And then Stone. We waited. It seemed like forever. We waited for Stone. We tried trading up forever to get him. Monster of a man, all business, pretty quiet. Not like a real vocal guy, but just a real. Professional that is a 2-year starter at Florida, big man, super long arms, hard for people to run the hump on him, and the guy runs a track especially well with our new offense. You can see him as a big person out there running and getting outside. So, just really excited, proud of everybody upstairs and what they did. Coaches personnel guys. It was a very productive draft, and now we're getting ready to start the second phase of it.
Speaking of focus, I am really impressed with Tim's focus, aren't you, John?
Tim? Which Tim?
Tim Booth, are you
Tim
okay?
Man,
I thought we were doing the cutout thing this weekend, so I thought I would just add to it.
That's no cutout. That's real, isn't it?
That is funny. That's creepy. And, yeah. Look at Mr. Bell. He's outside at the golf course,
I thought about doing it last night, but I didn't want to give you guys nightmares.
Blink if you need help, Tim.
Greg's out there playing with Trump.
Ooh.
Wow.
I can't believe you're wearing a shirt that says a shirt that says Navy on. What's going on here?
Army, Navy. We're proud of our military.
Opposite is true, but okay.
There you go.
You lost the bet.
There you go.
Art, wait to be called on, please.
Yeah, Art's fighting for airtime over there.
I thought we were going by height.
Corbin, get us started.
That's the lowest ceiling I've ever seen in a house.
Hey guys, there's so much talk this time of year about arm length and all the athletic testing and things like that, but how much does that stuff get thrown out the window to an extent when you're looking at a player like Trey Brown that week in, week out is playing against elite future NFL talent in the Big 12 and playing in the college football playoff?
I think you said it perfectly. The landscape is what it is, and so, I'm sure Trey Brown would love to be, 6'2" and be, if he was 6'2", he'd be picked in the top 10, right? So, you can see him every weekend running all over the place in the Big 12 with all these receivers and all the speed that's out there and competing his tail off. Yes, we'd love to have, big corners and all that, and we did right when we got here. But you got to adjust to the times too, and there's only a certain amount of players that you can pick from, and more about the person, like we talked about last night. This guy's a true competitor. He's on the upswing. He's overcome a lot. Tulsa guy that's just he's got a confidence about him that's and a competitiveness that's that we love and we treasure.
Jen?
Two things on this. When you're looking at Stone, you said that you had tried to get him a couple of different times. What was your level of surprise that he was available today? And second, when he talked to us just a little bit ago, he said admittedly he's not as good in the run game as he is in the pass game. Is it a true run game, though, that he needs to prepare for, given what you anticipate the offense being under Shane?
Wow.
Well, yeah,
you get that one?
Yeah, that was. I
Thank you.
that one. a challenging.
That was a challenging one, John. I'm not ready for that one.
Volley.
Come on, guys. I've already lost 4 bets because you only drafted 3 players. So I'm just going to throw it back to you on that one.
So really, you're upset, is what you're saying. You come on the rebound here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm taking it out on you, Pete.
The really cool thing is we don't have any idea what the question is now, so it doesn't matter. But we're talking about our offensive lineman here.
Stone,
Yeah.
yes.
Stone was a guy that really, because of his uniqueness, he's really a unique player. I mean, how many times have I said that to you guys about, we're always looking for traits, and he really brings a great level of potential in his what he brings. He's played a lot of football. He's had over 1,000 pass rushes against him in the SEC. His numbers are really good. His stats are really good in pass protection. He can come off the football. He runs pretty well. He runs well for a big guy. So he moves all right. We just got to get him where he's coming off the football the way we want to. That means he's got front side blocks where he's got to reach really flashy athletes, and then you also got to cut off big defensive tackles when the ball's going away. So he's shown the ability to do that, so we're not worried about his foot quickness in that regard. So we got to get him to play good and low. That's always the question with guys. He's 6'8", and so the guys are going to try to get up underneath him. But he's seen that from the best. We've got to watch him against the best that the SEC had to offer in the last couple of years, and felt really good about the potential for him to be a really good player for a long period of time. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, Hutch went down to work him out. Hutch and Steve Hutchinson and Alonzo Highsmith were at the workout, and Hutch spent a ton of time with him. And he's not a real outspoken individual. He's just a real quiet, confident, calm guy. He's not he doesn't come off with he's kind of a professional. He just kind of shows up every day, and he's there trying to get better. And so
coaches count on him. They believe in him. Really great rapport, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to have Hutch spend as much time with him as he did, and obviously Aaron Highline. It was those guys really had him nailed as a person. So yeah, he's not gonna be cruising around with his shirt rolled up and stuff like that, I guess. So. Which I do. Which was a good, it was a common theme, which was a jab at a buddy of mine. But
Michael Sean, save us.
Pete, where do you plan on playing Trey?
He's a corner. He's going to play outside and start there, and we're going to see what he brings to the competition. He's played outside, throughout his years. Hasn't played inside as a featured nickel guy, but we know that he would have the ability to do that. I thought that the one-on-ones in the Senior Bowl were really indicative of his ability to stick to people. He went against really good receivers, really good one-on-one opportunities, and he can, whether he's playing inside or outside, he's going to do fine. But we're thinking of him as a corner to play outside. We didn't draft him as a nickel, if that's what you're asking. We did not.
So is that just unique to him, or could you move guys like Marquise and keep DJ outside too, even though their arms aren't where the usual benchmark is?
No, we can. You've already seen us. We've played with the tallest, longest guys you could play, and we've played with guys at the other end of the spectrum. And DJ showed really well. DJ's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's a heck of a football player, and he showed that he could find his way to get through it. Trey plays with a great aggressiveness and attack, and he's on. He's always after the football, very much like DJ plays, and so we'll see how that works. Remember that we also in free agency we signed a guy at 6'3", and Trey's over there 6'3" as well. So we haven't given up on any of our thoughts in the past. We're trying to find the guys that bring something special that can play the game, and they don't have to be all the same. And that's just the way it is. So we're excited about this guy. He's a special teamer as well, and he gets after it in the running game. He's a good tackler. So he's a well-rounded player.
Thanks.
Sure.
Bob?
Yeah, how do you guys feel about the offensive line right now? And sort of obviously with adding Gabe to it, who I guess we all assume is going to slide in a left guard, but otherwise you brought back a lot of guys from last year and everything. Looks like a lot of continuity there. Just sort of how do you feel about how that all came together?
Yeah, we are pleased with where we are, in particular with the depth in the competition too. It's not just the guys that start. Gabe's going to play on the right side, and D-Lou will be on the left side, and bringing Ethan back, for a second year as a potential starter. The confidence that he'll gain from that will really help him. And like I've been saying, Kyle's going to be competing with him all along as well. I think Simmons did a nice job for us last year. Jordan did some good things when he played. That gives us good depth there. Philip Haynes looks to be through his injury issues and will come into camp ready to roll and compete too. And Cedric Ogbuhi, this is a guy that really has the potential to be a big time football player. He's going to get a great chance to go with Brandon out there at the right tackle spot and compete, to the finish and see who wins the job, knowing that he can also play on the other side if we need him to, also as he did last year. So we feel really good about the depth of it and kind of the experience. Well, as always, you like these guys to get a good feel for one another, play together, and communicate really well, and that really comes to the center spot, and we'll get great leadership from Dwayne. So I think it's an excellent position for us.
I think Greg lost his ball. Look, he's in the car now looking for it. You see that? Greg Bell? He's driving around. He's on the golf course. Now he's in a car.
Yeah, his golf cart.
He must have really shanked that sucker.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's on another course.
Matt?
See, isn't it more fun when you just have 3 picks?
I said that. I just told I'm at
Okay.
my son.
Thanks, Greg. Matt?
Appreciate it, Greg. Greg's in a hazard.
Hey, Matt, how about we interview you? That's a Step Brothers.
Hold that
quote.
look for a second, Greg.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, you mentioned how you hit Pater with your first-round pick by getting Jamal Adams. I know, John, you said yesterday that you're going to spend a lot of today thinking about Gabe Jackson, Carlos Dunlop. Just 3 picks, none particularly high. How much different did this draft feel compared to other drafts you've had?
It really did. It was unique is the word we keep using, right? And it was just very interesting to watch everybody work their way through this draft and to talk to other teams and how they viewed things and how they felt about their team. I think as we spoke on our pre-draft press conference a couple of days ago, same thing. We're going to be approaching this now like, okay, who's going to be letting people go after the draft? What does that look like? The different phases of free agency, and so it was definitely an odd year. There's still a bunch of free agents, not free agents, but for us free agents, rookie free agents that we're really interested in.
Thanks.
John?
Was that good enough, Matt? Because we just wanted to know, because you were judging our press conference the other day, how convincing Pete was and everything. I just want to make sure that was okay for you. Because next time we're going to interview you.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's from Step Brothers. Go for it, right?
That was a 6 out of 10. I'll give that one.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll be wishy-washy.
We'll
like
give
the
you your
rest of
grade
them.
in a couple of weeks, dude.
Looking forward to it.
Are we done
like a
now?
challenge.
Okay.
Okay. Jeez.
Pete, when Trey was talking to us, he said on special teams he's looking to destroy people, I think was a phrase he used. Just what did you see out of him on special teams, and just kind of what kind of impact player could he be there right away?
He's a one-speed guy. He goes all out, and he really does throw his body around, and it shows up on special teams when he gets his ops. He came across. We heard his interview as well, and he came across with the confidence and the cockiness that is necessary quite often in the makeup of the guys that play out there, and he's not gonna be wowed by any of it. I'm sure there'll be guys ready for the challenge in camp when we get rolling, and one of them wears number 14. He don't care who it is. He's going to go against them and make it a battle. DK will look forward to it, and that's what we need to play to find your best. You need the competitiveness, and that's why the kid really fits. So we think we can really be in a very fortunate situation with him in the competition right now.
Joe Fan?
John, you mentioned you used like the word forever of when how you were trying to get up and get Stone. I'm curious, at what point did he fall where like we got to go try to get this guy? Like at what point do you start making those calls? And then do you have maybe any reason why he may have fallen the way he did? I mean, a lot of analysts had him in the 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round. You guys got him in the 6th.
Yeah, just from an ammunition standpoint, being able to work your way up, it was really, I think it was 190 in the 190s, early 190s, 190 where we felt like we had enough to go try. And then from there, we just started the whole time. There was a situation where, we could have gone back, and then with we even further after we worked with Tampa to see if we could get Trey a little bit later, which we just decided that was not the thing to do. We needed to just pick Trey, but with the thought of acquiring another pick to try to get up to go get Stone. And so I want to say it was in the 190s that we tried, and then it literally seemed like 2 hours.
Yeah, it seemed like forever.
It seemed like forever, and that's what's fun and entertaining about the draft, right? Like everybody sees things differently, and I would think that if you wanted to nitpick, you got offensive line coaches that are gritty and tough, and they want the guy that's got a big old chew in and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing, but he's not like this. He's just a real buttoned up individual. He's not a guy that's like a not tough, but just from a personality standpoint, he's just kind of quiet. And Hutch talked about this a lot, playing next to Walter. Walter was never a guy that, I'm not comparing him to Walter Jones, so don't do that, Joe. Okay, but you guys have been around Walter. He's just a real easy, laid back, quiet guy. And I remember when he was coming out of Florida State, he was only there for a minute. He was a one and done guy, and people were very concerned about the personality because he was just such a nice, easygoing dude that was really quiet. And he did a pretty good doggone good job, right? So, and maybe that's the only reason I could think of.
Stone told us that maybe the knock of his run blocking not being as good as his pass blocking was fair, but he said they didn't run the football a lot at Florida.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to tell. That's hard to tell. The first game I ever saw him play was against Georgia. That defense is pretty good, right? And so here he's out there blocking, all these guys that are, big time draft picks, some older guys, younger guys, and he didn't flinch. So Georgia was probably his most impressive game.
Thanks, John.
Tim?
John, you mentioned Hutch a couple of times. What did he add to the evaluation process on Stone specifically? And then also your depth at linebacker. How do you both feel about that coming out of the draft? And is that something you need to address going forward?
I got Hutch. You get the line.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we're really blessed to have Steve working with us. He focuses on the offensive line. He gives us a really fresh opinion on guys. We try to get him out as much as we possibly can to spend time with the guys, taking them, out for a cup of coffee or dinner or whatever, and talking to offensive line coaches, and then being able to really put his hands on them in the spring. And he's a very, very clear-thinking individual. He knows what he likes. He knows what it takes. I was blessed to be around him when we drafted him in 2000, and he's just a blast to be around. He knows exactly how to communicate his thoughts, and Pete and I were talking about earlier today. Like, he can go through everybody. I don't know who was more nervous there for a while, like Pete or Hutch, and I'm like, man, you guys need to stop, walk cruising around in front of the table. I'm like,
wasn't nerves.
Making me dinner, yeah. Or they're making me dizzy.
John.
So, you guys weren't making me dinner, were you? No, making me dizzy. So, yeah, and then the linebackers.
Yeah, well, we have a group of linebackers that we can really count on, and we like our guys and how they play, and really the fact that we have flexibility there too. But it is a competitive opportunity for young guys to come in, trying to get on this team and be part of it and be part of the special teams and all of that. And so guys that are getting some opportunities right now, as soon as we get off the call here, we'll be looking for a chance. We don't have a lot of depth, but we have really quality guys playing at the spot.
Art?
Trey Brown obviously makes it for a very competitive group at cornerback, but would you guys be interested in entertaining a veteran cornerback like, say, Richard Sherman?
We're always open. We've never not been that way.
Talked.
I didn't hear that. He's what?
You said you guys have talked.
I've talked to Sherm quite a few times here over the off season, so we have stayed in contact. He's out there. I know he's thinking about it. He's looking for an opportunity, and I saw where he said there's 3 or 4 teams that that he's considering or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But he's been a great player, and he's still got some ball left in him, I'm sure. But at this point, we're going to clear through this day, figure out what happens with the rooks coming up, and we'll see where it sits later on.
And I think Pete said this publicly, and we both feel this way. We'll be supporting Sherm in some form or fashion. He's always going to be a Seahawk.
Brady?
This question is for Pete. Seeing DJ Reed play on the outside and succeed on the outside late last season, did that make it any easier for you to project Brown playing out there as a similarly small guy?
Not necessarily, because it's like, coached a lot of guys over the years, all different kinds of sizes and shapes and all of that. And but almost it could go the other way. Do you want 2 guys that are both 5'9" out there playing? That you could think of it that way, because we went through those conversations. We just, each guy's on his own side doing his own thing, playing his style, and we're going to try to draw out the best that they have. And we've had guys that have been all pro guys that were 6'2", and we've had guys in my years in the past that were under 6 feet tall, and it just depends on the kid, and the style of player. We don't close the book on guys. We're looking for the ways that they offer their style of play and trying to figure out if it fits. If it works, it works. But I would say that the fact that DJ did such a nice job, it gave us a little bit more of a kind of a mold of guys. Guys that would, if the guy is a smaller guy, what is his style of play like? And what does it take to be a smaller guy that can be successful? And one of the criteria that we talked about this extensively in the offseason was that they got to have this mentality about them, that they go for it and they're aggressive and they make plays almost because they can, because of the way they are athletically, and to open and make sure we have an open appreciation for that kind of play. And I think DJ, just like Russell helped some other quarterbacks, DJ will help some other cornerbacks, here. And I don't think that that's a wrong statement, but we're still going to look at these guys individually and see what they got. And I can't wait. We've got some real comp now coming up. It's going to be really important to us moving forward.
Does the style of play change there when it is a smaller guy? I mean, do you press less often? Or?
Not necessarily. It depends on the matchups, and also depends on the player. Some guys are better playing off, or some guys are better working off the line of scrimmage. And some guys are better just planting down there and laying right at the line of scrimmage and starting from there. It depends. And I've been coaching guys for so long at this spot. You have to be open to their style, and we have to kind of find that out with the new guys that come in. We had to do that with DJ. How much would he be on the line of scrimmage? How much would we mix and all of that? It's an individual assessment that we make forever. We've been doing that. And some guys you just want there forever, and they don't want them off the line of scrimmage. So it just depends.
Thanks.
Sure.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, kind of big picture right now, how do you feel like the roster sits for you at this point in time with the moves you have made and the draftees you've added? How much do you think you'll still be working through, like, the veteran free agency that's still out there after the draft and all of those sorts of things at this point?
Really, I thought this offseason was really successful at situating the roster where we felt good going into the draft. Part of the draft, and John was, helping me be prepared mentally for this all along, without the normal volume of picks, that we needed to make our moves and make our decisions early to make sure that the roster was situated well. We made it through that offseason and came to the point where we felt like we had guys at every spot. We didn't have any holes going in. We didn't have any glaring needs. We had concerns and issues for depth in competition and all that. So we have firepower. We've got big plays. We got pass rush now. We've got the leadership. We have depth, and we have competitive depth, which always helps you bring out the best in guys. So we're situated very well right now. If the new guys and a couple of these free agents that have a shot can come in here and make a spark and add something to us, give us a little flash or something here on special teams or whatever they can bring, we're going to be a very, very competitive team. I have no hesitation in saying that. So I'm excited about that. The last part of this is that we're never going to pass up an opportunity to be involved and competitively involved in everything. John does an incredible job. There's nobody that's done it better than John over all of these years to continue to take advantage of every opportunity that comes along. There'll be one after the, kind of whatever the fallout occurs, as guys put their rosters together, that we'll be sitting right there on the fence ready to jump and hopefully we'll see a couple things that might help us out. But we'll be ready for it. We won't miss that opportunity for sure.
Bob?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about a couple of other guys. Quick, Marquise Blair, obviously he's played both safety and corner. When he gets back healthy, where do you see him fitting? And then Daryl Taylor, just with the linebacker depth, is there any chance he could play strong side linebacker at all? Or
And Daryl Taylor, okay, gotcha. Yeah, Marquise is doing great. He's ready to get back to working, so he should be in great shape, ready to compete. I think you asked about his versatility. If you watch this, he can play both safety spots, and he does play on the slot and nickel. We started the season with him when we were really with great anticipation what we could do with him there in terms of the pressure that he could bring off the edge, the tackles that he could make, as well as the disruptive type of coverage style. He has a unique coverage style that he plays on the slot there when he does. So we're wide open with whatever he brings. We're really looking forward to it, and even more so once we acquired Jamal and we saw what Marquise could do, and we have those guys on both sides of the nickel package. It was really with great excitement we went into the season. Unfortunately, Keith got hurt, and then Daryl Taylor. Ugo, yeah, Ugo plays the same spot. He has a totally different way of playing the game, and he has his own flair and playmaking ability and take a shot, kind of like as DJ does in that guy, that kind of mold that we're creating here. So that gives us really good flexibility because you see Ugo play on the back end at safety, both spots as well. Daryl Taylor does give us some flexibility. We saw him in college play on the edge quite a bit, where he did some drop and he was in coverage. We have that as part of what we're counting on as he comes to us and we get him out there on the field and really kind of fit him in. But we do have to still uncover some of that because we have not had the real chance to really get the work that we need to make those assessments. But very versatile football player, and we're wide open to whatever he can do.
Couple more. Brady?
Hey, Pete, could you please elaborate on, you made a comment about how Forsyth's athleticism fits into Waldron's offense. Could you tell us how?
I don't know if I exactly said
you talked
that.
about, I think, getting him out.
Yeah, no, we've seen him move. He runs well. For a big man, he runs well, and so he can block on the perimeter. We've seen him get out and stay on his feet. He does not on the ground much at all for a big guy. He's got good coordination and all that, and like I said, he does run well. You wouldn't think a guy that tall would be as fast as he is, but I don't think that there's going to be any restriction. What the benefit that Stone has is he gets to learn from one of the best players in the league, in Dwayne Brown, and he's going to be able to study with him and work with him. Dwayne will take him under his wing, I know, and teach him all the ins and outs of this position, as well as demonstrate what it is to be an effective perimeter run blocker and all. I mean, Dwayne's been famous for that stuff for us. This will be a really competitive opportunity for Stone, but the big part of the competition is he has this great example right there in front of him to show him how to play the game. So this should work out really well.
Last question, Greg Bell.
Yeah, guys, Richard Sherman didn't leave the happiest camper a few years ago. When did that relationship get back to where you would like it to be, where you now talk frequently and his return could be a possibility? When did that swing?
To me, it was never not like that.
Yeah, I think it was blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I think that's something that it gets read into more so. Sherman and I have always shared thoughts about stuff, and if we go through the different cycles of things that have happened in the league and what's going on around the country at times, and we have stayed in touch for a long time. And I don't think that should surprise you, because just think about all of the guys that have left here that had done so much for this program in our area and all of that, and whether they're still playing or they're not playing, we've maintained really I think, really significant relationships, and Sherm's one of them. I've always thought of Sherm as, he could be the leader of this NFLPA thing someday and run the whole thing. I mean, he's got so much potential to do so much. I don't want to limit him that way. I mean, there's nothing that Richard can't do. And fortunately, we've had a really good relationship, and it's been fun to follow him. And I give him crap whenever I can about games when we're playing or whatever's happened and all that, and he'll turn around and do the same with me. And so I don't know what that means, other than I'm really proud of the relationship that we've had, particularly all of the things that we've done together, and he's done well when he's left too. So we'll see what happens.
How realistic is it? Fans are going to take your comments.
Well, I don't know. I'm just going along with the conversation right now. That's not one of our thoughts right now, that we're going out and go get another guy at the spot. But we're going to keep looking, and we're not going to stop looking, and that's just, we're going to compete. So in that sense, I leave everything open, and that's just one of them. So now go ahead and do whatever you want with it, but that's where it is.
It wasn't as bad as everybody thought it was when he left. I was literally talking to him probably 10 minutes before he went in and agreed with the San Francisco 49ers, and talking in a very positive manner. And
sure.
It's been good.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. See you.
Thanks.
Thank you.